Dear students, today we are going to discuss the defects in flexible and rigid pavements. First, look at this particular slide, defects in flexible pavements. Fatigue or alligator cracking, bleeding, block cracking, depression, joint reflection cracking, longitudinal cracking, patching, potholes, rutting, slippage cracking, stripping, transverse or thermal cracking, water bleeding and pumping. On this slide, you would find defects in rigid pavements, blow up or buckling, corner break, durability cracking or decracking, faulting, joint load transfer system deterioration, linear or panel cracking, patching, shrinkage cracking, and spalling. First of all, look at the fatigue or alligator cracking description. Series of interconnected cracks caused by fatigue failure of the hot mix asphalt surface or stabilized base under repeated traffic loading. In thin pavements, cracking initiates at the bottom of the HMA layer where the tensile stress is the highest, then propagates to the surface as one or more longitudinal cracks. This is commonly referred to as bottom-up or classical fatigue cracking. In thick pavements, the cracks most likely initiate from the top in areas of high localized tensile stresses resulting from tire-pavement interaction and asphalt binder aging, top-down cracking. After repeated loading, the longitudinal cracks connect, forming many-sided sharp-angled pieces that develop into a pattern resembling the back of an alligator or crocodile. So that's why the fatigue cracking is sometimes called as alligator cracking. Here you can see the fatigue or alligator cracking. Now the problems associated with fatigue cracking: indicator of structural failure, cracks allow moisture infiltration, roughness may further deteriorate to a pothole. So here in this photograph you can see the fatigue cracking from edge failure and fatigue cracking from frost action, you can see here. Causes: inadequate structural support, which can be caused by a myriad of things. A few of the more common ones are listed here. Decrease in pavement load supporting characteristics. Under that, loss of base, sub-base or subgrade support, for example poor drainage or spring thaw resulting in a less stiff base. Stripping on the bottom of the HMA layer. The stripped portion contributes little to the pavement strength, so the effective HMA thickness decreases. Then the next cause is increase in loading, for example more or heavier loads than anticipated in design, inadequate structural design, and then the poor construction, for example inadequate compaction. Repair: A fatigue cracked pavement should be investigated to determine the root cause of failure. Any investigation should involve digging a pit or coring the pavement to determine the pavement's structural makeup as well as determining whether or not subsurface moisture is a contributing factor. Once the characteristic alligator pattern is apparent, repair by crack sealing is generally ineffective. Fatigue crack repair generally falls into one of the two categories. Small, localized fatigue cracking indicative of a loss of subgrade support. In this case, remove the cracked pavement area, then dig out and replace the area of poor subgrade and improve the drainage of that area if necessary. Patch over the repaired subgrade. Large fatigue cracked areas indicative of general structure failure. Place an HMA overlay over the entire pavement surface. This overlay must be strong enough structurally to carry the anticipated loading because the underlying fatigue cracked pavement most likely contributes little or no strength. The next effect is the bleeding, and we will discuss all the remaining defects in the same sequence as we have discussed alligator or fatigue cracking. So first you would find the description. A film of asphalt binder on the pavement surface. It usually creates a shiny glass-like reflecting surface that can become quite sticky. So look at that. Bleeding in wheel paths. Next you can see the problem, loss of skid resistance when wet. Then the possible causes are mentioned over here. And then the repair. So some repair measures are mentioned on this particular slide. The next effect is the block cracking. Interconnected cracks that divide the pavement up into rectangular pieces. Blocks range in size from approximately 0.1 meter square to 9 meters square. Larger blocks are generally classified as longitudinal and transverse cracking. Block cracking normally occurs over a large portion of pavement area, but sometimes will occur only in non-traffic areas. So here you can see the interconnected cracks. So these are the block cracking. Then you can see the problems associated with this defect. Possible causes are given. Here on this particular slide, the repair measures are mentioned. Next defect is depression. First description, localized pavement surface areas with slightly lower elevation than the surrounding pavement. Depressions are very noticeable after a rain when they fill with water. So here you can see depression in left lane and shoulder. You can see here. Then the problems associated with this defect, possible causes, and the repair works are mentioned for this particular defect. The next defect is the joint reflection cracking. First, the description, cracks in a flexible overlay of a rigid pavement. The cracks occur directly over the underlying rigid pavement joints. Joint reflection cracking does not include reflection cracks that occur away from an underlying joint or from any other type of the base, for example cement or lime stabilized. So here you can see the cracks, the joint reflection cracks. Then the problem associated with this defect, and then the possible causes. Here you would find some repair works for this particular defect. Then comes longitudinal cracking. Cracks parallel to the pavement centerline or lay-down direction, usually a type of fatigue cracking. Then same pattern has been followed. The problems associated with this defect, possible causes are mentioned. Here you can see the longitudinal cracking from poor joint construction. Look at that. Here again longitudinal cracking as the onset of fatigue cracking. And on this particular slide, the repair works. Next effect is patching. An area of pavement that has been replaced with new material to repair the existing pavement. A patch is considered a defect no matter how well it performs. So look at that. This is a patch over the localized stress area. Here you would find the patch. So then on this slide you would find the problem associated with this defect, then the possible causes, and then the repair works or the repair measures. Here you would find some detail about the potholes. You can see here this is the pothole which has been occurred from the fatigue cracking. You can see the fatigue cracks. Small bowl-shaped depressions in the pavement surface that penetrate all the way through the HMA layer down to the base course. These generally have sharp edges and vertical sides near the top of the hole. Potholes are most likely to occur on roads with the HMA surfaces 1 to 2 inches and seldom occurs on roads with 4 inches or deeper HMA surfaces. Then you would find the problems associated with this defect. Here are the possible causes and then the repair. So you can see here this is the formation of the potholes. Rutting. We have already discussed the rutting. Here you would find the description: surface depression in the wheel path, pavement uplift, shearing may occur along the sides of the rut. Ruts are particularly evident after a rain when they are filled with water. There are two basic types of rutting: mixed rutting and subgrade rutting. I will repeat: mixed rutting and subgrade rutting. Now what is mixed rutting? Mixed rutting occurs when the subgrade does not rut, yet the pavement surface exhibits wheel path depression as a result of compaction or mixed design problems. As far as the subgrade rutting is concerned, it occurs when the subgrade exhibits wheel path depressions due to loading. In this case, the pavement settles into the subgrade, ruts causing surface depression in the wheel path. Then you would find the problems associated with such defect of rutting. And on this particular slide, the possible causes, where you can see the effect of rutting, which is basically the mixed rutting. Here you would find the repair measure for such defect. Then the slippage cracking. Crescent or half-moon shaped cracks, generally having two ends pointed into the direction of traffic. So you can see this one, look at that, slippage cracking. Then the problem, possible causes, and the repair work for this defect. Then comes stripping. The loss of bond between aggregates and asphalt binder that typically begins at the bottom of the HMA layer and progresses upward. When stripping begins at the surface and progresses downward, it is usually called raveling. So I will repeat, this is very important. When stripping begins at the surface and progresses downward, it is usually called raveling. The photo shows the surface effects of underlying stripping. So look at that. Core hole showing stripping at the bottom, this one. Then you would find the problems associated with the stripping on this slide. Here you can see the possible causes and the repair works. You can see here the fatigue failure from stripping. Transverse or thermal cracking. Cracks perpendicular to the pavement's center line or lay down direction, usually a type of thermal cracking. So look at that. The large patched thermal crack you can see over here. Then you would find the problems associated with the transverse or thermal cracking, and the possible causes are mentioned over here. Repair works are also mentioned. Here you can see the small thermal cracks. Then comes the water bleeding and pumping. As the name is indicating, water bleeding occurs when water seeps out of joints or cracks or through an excessively porous HMA layer. Pumping occurs when water and fine material is ejected from underlying layer through cracks in the HMA layer under moving loads. So that's why we are using the term pumping. Then the problems associated with water bleeding and pumping and the possible causes. And here you would find the repairing work for such defect. And here you can see the water bleeding. Then the next effect is the blow up or buckling. A localized upward slab movement and shattering at a joint or crack usually occurs in spring or summer and is the result of insufficient room for slab expansion during hot weather. So look at that, a localized upward slab movement. So this is called as the blow up. The problems are mentioned here. And on this slide, the possible causes and the repair work, which is the full depth patch in this case. The corner break is the next effect. A crack that intersects the PCC slab joints near the corner near the corner is typically defined as within about 2 meter or 6 feet or so. A corner break extends through the entire slab and is caused by high corner stresses. Well, you can see this one, the corner break. The problems associated with corner break are mentioned over here. Here the possible causes and the repair. And on this photograph you can see the corner break on a residential street. Then you can see the durability cracking, which is also called as decracking. Series of closely spaced crescent-shaped cracks near a joint or corner. It is caused by freeze-thaw expansion of the large aggregate within the PCC slab. Durability cracking is a generally PCC distress and is not unique to the pavement PCC. Then you would find the problems associated with decracking on this slide. Here you would find the possible cause and the repair work, and you can see the decracking at panel corner. Look at that, decracking. Here the faulting has been discussed. A difference in elevation across a joint or crack usually associated with undoweled JPCP, jointed plain concrete pavement. Usually the approach slab is higher than the leaf slab due to pumping. The most common faulting mechanism. Faulting is noticeable when the average faulting in the pavement section reaches about 2.5 mm. When the average faulting reaches 4 mm, diamond grinding or other rehabilitation measures should be considered. The problem is mentioned, which is the roughness. The possible causes are mentioned. And here you can see the repair work for this particular defect. Joint load transfer system deterioration. Transverse crack or corner break developed as a result of joint dowels. So look at that, what has happened over here. You are having the joint load transfer system deterioration, and it has happened because of the joint dowels bars. So the problems indicator of a failed load transfer system and the roughness. And on this particular slide you would find the possible causes and the repair. Then comes the linear or panel cracking. Linear cracks not associated with corner breaks or blow-ups that extend across the entire slab. Typically these cracks divide an individual slab into 2 to 4 pieces. So look at that. And here you would find the problems associated with the linear panel cracking. Possible causes and the repair works. So in this photograph you can see such type of defect, panel cracking in the truck lane because of the heavy traffic here, you know. Then the patching, an area of pavement that has been replaced with new material to repair the existing pavement. A patch is considered a defect no matter how well it performed. So you can see the patch on a residential street, you can see the patch with poor edges over here. Then you can see the problem associated with this defect is the roughness. Then the possible causes are given and the repair work is also mentioned. And you can see here the patch work. Large utility patches there. Shrinkage cracking. Hairline cracks formed during PCC setting and curing that are not located at joints. Usually these cracks do not extend through the entire depth of the slab. Shrinkage cracks are considered distress if they occur in an uncontrolled manner. So you can see the shrinkage type of cracks over here. The problems associated with shrinkage cracking. And then you can see the possible causes, which are given in detail on this particular slide. And here the repair of this defect. So you can see here sphere type of cracking, which is the sphere shrinkage crack. Then you would find the spalling description. Cracking, breaking or chipping of joint or crack edges usually occurs within about 0.6 meter or 2 feet of joint or crack edge. Well, you can see here linear crack spalling, and here the spalling from a bad construction joint. The problem associated with spalling: loose debris on the pavement, roughness, generally an indicator of advanced joint or crack deterioration. Possible causes are mentioned over here. Excessive stresses at the joint or crack caused by infiltration of incompressible material and subsequent expansion. Disintegration of the PCC from freeze-thaw action or decracking. Weak PCC at a joint caused by inadequate compaction during construction. This can sometimes occur at a construction joint if low-quality PCC is used to fill in the last bit of slab volume or dowels are improperly inserted. Then the next cause: misalignment of corroded dowel bars. Heavy traffic loading is another possible cause. And the repair: spalling less than 75 mm or 3 inches from the crack face can generally be repaired with a partial depth patch. Spalling greater than about 75 mm or 3 inches from the crack face may indicate possible spalling at the joint bottom and should be repaired with a full depth patch. So in this way, we have discussed different types of defects that we are having in flexible pavements and in the rigid pavements. Thank you.